A mysterious package from China. I don't think it's cocaine. I mean, it always could be. It's probably more likely something from Powkiddy. God almighty. Whoops. It's the Powkiddy RGB20SX. This was sent to us courtesy of our friends at Go Game Geek. We got the white. Ooh. Is it transparent white? I forget. God, that thing's... Ooh. Out of the way for a second, Go Game Geek. This has the potential to be beautiful. Oh, and stickers. Oh, no. No. My weird dragon deer thing. The sticker was a little bit scuffed. Oh, well, I'll flatten it out. Got a cord, an SD card. See what kind that is. And the handheld itself, if I can get it out. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about that. That is a tall screen. We have a CP, CPI 128 gigabyte card. Gonna slot that in. Where is the card? Oh, hey. We have a CP16 that was already in there for the operating system. And we're gonna put the CP 128 on TF2 game. Put that on that side. Quick overview. Ginormous screen. You got a D-pad that... Oh, I don't like that D-pad. It feels kind of... It's not as bad as the RK2023, but it feels like it might have some sharp edges. Face buttons seem okay. We have our little smiley face and our switch sticks and the function button. Boy, that's a goofy looking handheld. You have our shoulder buttons on the back. Looks like R2 and L2 are a little bit bigger, a little bit raised, so you'd be able to feel them. You know what? Right off the bat, this is way more balanced than I thought it would be. We'll get there. You have your power and reset on the side, HDMI out on top, volume on this side, and 2 USB-C ports on the bottom, and headphone jack on the bottom. I like that. Beautiful white translucent case. I tell you what, maybe I'll get ambitious and dye this. I'll have to figure out the recipe. But, let's see. All they gave us as far as stickers was tiger or dragon. And I think we all know that we're putting the dragon on right now. We're going to put it on live. F it. We're going to do it live. No, steady. Start around the D-pad first. There we go. This is difficult because it's open on the top. We're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. Hey, wait a minute. The antlers go over the actual screen. That's stupid. Oh, that's so stupid. Why? It's a Zoo original now with the antlers all over the screen. Now, this is just the vertical version of the RGB30. Everyone loved the RGB30. I didn't care for it too much. I felt like it was niche. But the RGB20SX, it has the same screen. It doesn't look like it. It's like a optical illusion. This one seems taller, but it's the same size screen. See? And whereas I thought this was kind of niche, I feel like this leans into the niche. This is an ideal Game Boy Color screen. It's also really, really good for NES, SNES, Genesis, anything 4x3. So I think by leaning into the verticality of it, is that a word? Verticality? It is now. They might have a winner on their hands. So, without further ado, turn her on, see what we get. Now, the 30 shipped with JELOS, so this one shipped with JELOS, okay. We had some reports that it was shipping with ROK NX, which is the new JELOS. Okay. Right off the bat, it looks like these antlers only cover up bezel, so that's good. But this version of JELOS, it's not really suited for this screen. You can see the time just kind of goes off the edge there. That's... Oh well, at least it doesn't have that loud music. Not only does this have the same screen as the RGB30, it also has the same guts. It's running an RK3566, which we've seen for the last 2 years now. It's pretty solid. It tops out at N64, pretty much the entire N64 library, and it can do a lot of PSP and Dreamcast. Right off the bat, let's just play some Game Boy games. Nothing scraped. That's kind of slapdash. Oh well, let's find what we want to do. Tetris? I gotta tell you right off the bat, this is way more comfortable than I thought it would be. You have a lot of real estate on the back to hold this, and it's actually really comfortable. Tetris didn't load. Okay. Oh no, wait a minute. Start and select. Super duper clicky. Oh, I hate that. Why would you do that? Whatever. Let's change the system options and see if we can get Tetris to run on, I don't know. Let's try Gambit. What the hell? Well, luckily, I already flashed ARKOS onto a separate SD card, so we're going to swap out the operating system card with this, and that's... Oh, boy, that's really bad. Oh, let's see what happens when we put ARKOS in there. All right, let's fire, say a little prayer, and turn her on. Okay, switch to SD2 for ROMs. Say a little prayer. Could not find a card to mount from slot 2. Well, okay, well, that just flat out doesn't work out of the box. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go get the computer. I've manually added some ROMs to ARKOS. Okay, it's detected my games. I'm really worried about the music because front-end music should be playing, and it's not. Let's just try some Pico 8, see if the speakers work. Okay, speakers work. So part of me wonders if the reason those games didn't load was because that SD card was kind of cooked straight out of the box, which is a huge pain in the butt. Now, if that does happen to you, Go Game Geek would be a really good company to be working with because they're super good about that. We've had people on the Discord that have shown us screenshots where it's like, hey, this is broken. And Go Game Geek's like, cool, I'll send you a brand new one. Don't worry about the old one. So they are really good about that. This is kind of to be expected from Powkiddy. Please accept their shortcomings. I just never had anything come broken from Go Game Geek before. I got so distracted by everything going crazy with the SD card, I forgot to do my comparisons. I think the most apt comparison would be the 353V, because it's a vertical handheld with the same exact chipset. Let's just see how they stack up. Obviously, the 20SX is bigger, but you have a very similar form factor, the same kind of idea. It's not that much thicker, it's just taller. It's also roughly around the same width. You compare it to the original DMG, it's damn near the same size. DMG is obviously a super thick boy, but otherwise, it's really, really close. Another handheld it's very close to in size is the original 351V. It's almost the same exact height, same exact general dimensions, but obviously the screen on this one is bigger. And then just for fun, a 4 parts Game Boy Pocket that is missing the screen. There they are. Okay. So select as your hotkey and select X gets you to your RetroArch menu. You can fast forward, you can save states, you can load states, all that jazz. You can also change your color scheme. So let's go back into the menu, core options, turn colorization on, and I don't know. Let's just go through them. Yeah. Your trigger buttons go through your different Game Boy settings. We've gone through this before, but this looks really, really good on this thing. And because of the bezel, your antlers aren't really blocking too much of the screen. You go through all these different options. I like 4H. Reminds me of what Game Boy looked like in my brain. Okay, once you get the operating system and the bad SD card out of the way, this is really fun. So I wasn't crazy about the original one for Game Boy games because it was still just kind of a big square, right? But this is a rectangle, and we all know Game Boy is superior on a rectangle. Yeah, I like this. I like it a lot. The ergonomics I really like. The D-pad isn't as sharp on the edges as I thought it would be. It's not that uncomfortable. It's not bad for Powkiddy. Probably going to have false diagonals on it because that's just, that's just the way these things are now. Heck, let's try false diagonals. Okay. It feels a little loose, but that's good in a fighting game. The switch stick ain't nothing to write home about, but it's functional. But yeah, the D-pad's not too bad in a fighting game. I can reliably pull off the optic blast, which is good. Get dunked on. Alright, Zoots, first impressions. Don't play X-Men for 20 minutes. See what Game Boy Advance looks like on this ridiculous screen. Alright, you definitely got some bezels, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Domination. Yeah, Game Boy Advance, you're losing a lot of real estate, but it plays really well. If you set your SNES and other 4x3 games to 8x7, it's going to look really, really good on here. We know that from the original, but yikes! But it is good to replicate here. I don't know, there's something cool about playing 4x3 games on this screen when you have it set to 8x7. Speakers on this are pretty good, the ergonomics are pretty good, the screen's good. I mean, the ergonomics are actually, whoa, a lot better than I thought they would be. Almost died. There we go. But yeah, the ergonomics are way better than I thought they would be. And since one of my big problems with the RGB30 was it was just kind of a weird brick, whoa, changing to the vertical form factor I feel like really helps me out at least. I don't know if you're like that. I died. I guess it really depends if you like vertical over horizontal, and I like vertical. So this ends up being a lot better for me than the RGB30. Now this is a first impressions video, obviously. I'm not going to dive too deep. And we've already gone over this chipset to death, so there's not a lot of point in going super crazy on it. But my main question going into the RGB20SX was, will it make me like this 1x1 720p screen? And the answer is yes. I really like playing Game Boy Color on this. And anything that can be scaled accurately to 8x7 is also really cool. But man, Game Boy games on this are cool, and it's in a Game Boy form factor, right? I really like that. I really like that. Well, Gary, it's time for What Did We Learn? We learned that A, this is a quick first impressions. B, boy, when they say never trust an SD card from Powkiddy, they mean it. And C, this is actually a pretty cool handheld. Issues with the SD card aside, it is not a tiny Game Boy. No, it is in fact a very large Game Boy. This is roughly the same size as the DMG. Now, this was a super quick first impressions because I just got this in the mail and I wanted to get this video out. And I know that some people are kind of on the fence about if they're going to do Dragon sticker or Tiger sticker, or they might be on the fence if they're going to get it or not. I would say if you have an RGB30 and maybe it's not your favorite thing, you like the screen, but you don't like the sense that maybe you're holding an old 3.5-inch hard drive sideways. Well, I think the 20SX might be a worthwhile upgrade to you. If you don't have a 3566 handheld at all, and you're partial to Game Boy games, or Game Boy Color games, or really any 4x3 game, Super Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, NES, all that, and you like verticals, this might be the one for you. You might have detected that this is super situational, super niche, whereas the RGB30 was pretty niche. This like takes it to the nth level, right? If you don't like vertical handhelds, don't buy it. Why would you buy it? Because this is just, I mean, this is the vertical handheld as far as it can go. Powkiddy was so preoccupied with whether they could, they never stopped to think if they should. This is just pure vertical. And if you're someone like me who likes vertical, I really like this. I really like this because I had a big problem with the RGB30 because I didn't like the ergonomics. This, great ergonomics, for me at least. D-pad's a little wobbly, but it's not that bad. My only complaint with the buttons or start and select are just super loud. But what are you going to do? It's Powkiddy. Something's got to be weird. Speaking of weird, this one did have a dead SD card, so rest in peace, SD card. I'm not quite sure what happened, but you're dead, and we shall miss you. You even came in this little Ziploc bag. It couldn't protect you, and I'm sorry. Now this is $90 on Powkiddy's website, but if you order from our friends at Go Game Geek, yes, that's right, Go Game Geek, it is $99. And that's more, Zoo, idiot, I can do math. That's $9.99 more. But, if you use RH15 coupon code, you take $15 off. So now it's cheaper than the Powkiddy website. If you like apples, how do you like them apples? I'm not going to say this is something you have to go out and buy. But if you like vertical handhelds and you like 4x3 or Game Boy games, this might be the one. I tell you what. Now, I also tell you what. This is not the last we will see of this. I'm going to mess around with custom firmware options. Obviously, I prefer ARKOS to the depreciated version of JELOS this thing shipped with. You could also use Ergonomics if you wanted to, but I like ARKOS on this. It's pretty slick, and this is a card that I made before they even officially supported this handheld. So how do you like that? Robust, huh? If you liked the video, like, subscribe, share it, all that jazz. We'll be back with a follow-up video, a more in-depth review. We'll really break this down. Heck, I might even do a teardown. I don't do teardowns. I've done one disassembly on video. It was actually of the 353V to put stickers and new buttons in it, and I was terrified the entire time. Heck, maybe I'll do a teardown. Maybe I will try to do something to the shell, although I do like that dragon sticker. I wouldn't want to damage it. I don't know. We'll see. So this has been Zoo and Gary and Jack the Cat and Quinlan and Kevin and the whole crazy Zoo Reviews family saying, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of your handhelds, get 8 hours of school, drink plenty of sleep, and remember to go to milk. Goodbye.